My name is Wendo Jean-Mary, the Director of Programs of JM Education and Research Center. JMERC is an organization that seeks to provide a school-wide ecosystem of support to uplift learners' learning outcomes, especially with a focus on the youth. We look at programs that will uplift the youth, that will help build their esteem, that will give them the confidence through an intervention for the teachers, the school leaders, and eventually we shall reach out to the communities, and the communities particularly, we shall reach out to the parents and caregivers of the youth, especially the girls, that we shall have had our trainings on. JMERC basically works in secondary schools. This is going to be our first pilot year. We have 2 years, 2023 and 2024. We are doing our pilot in 2 different districts, that's Tororo and Kabale. We shall start with a maximum of 10 schools, 5 from Tororo or 5 from Kabale, maybe even less from one district and more from another district, according to the demands. The category of schools that JMERC works in is basically, we look at the needy schools, especially our target is for the government schools under the program of universal secondary education. Why? Because these schools basically have the most vulnerable population. However, we are not going to stick only to the USE schools, but you'll also find there are a few community schools that are really needy. So we are basically going out for the needy. Our breakthrough, if I may talk briefly about it, came from a project we did in a school in the eastern part of Uganda that was after the COVID-19. We saw that the COVID-19 brought a lot of challenges to these students. So we made an intervention and action research, which was basically female participatory. When we did this action research, we found there was a big gap between the learners, their parents, and the teachers. So when they brought the lockdown of schools, these learners started facing a lot of challenges, but they could not reach out to their parents because there was a gap. They were not used to their parents. They couldn't tell them their needs. Schools were closed, so they did not have the teachers that they could reach out to. So these girls found themselves alone. One thing that came up was basically the fact that they needed sanitary pads, but they did not have anyone to talk to. So this really touched us, and this is what informed our approach of the school ecosystem. We realized that to help the girl child, the youth, become agile and thrive, we needed to intervene through the other stakeholders and whom we identified as their teachers, because these teachers are always with them in school, as the school leaders, because the school leaders are the ones who will help implement and bring up a good school culture and strengthen the leadership. And then we also saw that apart from just having the school environment, the school leaders and the teachers, there is also need to go out and reach out to the parents in the communities and their caregivers. So this is all about our ecosystem. So we are called JM Education and Research Center. All our work is guided by evidence. So in whatever work we do, whatever intervention we do, whatever training we do, there is a research paper that we write about. So this is the evidence. We keep collecting evidence to inform our actions, to inform the change that we want, and to help us be stronger in what we do, have the records, and then we see that we transform the lives of these learners. JMERC does not work in isolation, but we work with other organizations like the Ministry of Education and Sports. We work with Uganda National Examinations Board, that's UNEB. We work with NCDC, National Curriculum Development Center. We are an organization also part of the big umbrella of Really Africa, and under Really Africa, we closely work with Wendo in the assessment of life skills and values. Wendo and Luigi Giussani are implementing a project on Alive, and we, together at Makerere University, we are implementing a project on Adapt. So our working relation is really close with the education sector and the other organizations that are working in seeing that they better the education of the country. We closely work with the College of External Studies and Education, the CEES, at Makerere University, and so many other organizations that basically are in the education sector. Thank you.